Right, Squid Game. Going back to Squid Game. Why do people, and I include myself, why do we love seeing people die in media? It's like, again, I am one of them. I don't understand either. So it's like, my story is when I was young, I was an edgy bitch. I saw an anime about, like, very bloody anime called Elfenlied. You guys remember that? It was like, it's like the corniest thing you can, like, probably everyone and their grandma saw them when they were like 12. But I just saw it and I was like fascinated. It was like, oh look, blood. But like that was my first impression. But like after that, I liked the story. I liked it, even though right now my opinion on the show is actually very like it's not a good story exactly. The anime, at least, I haven't read the manga. But at least back then I was like, whoa, that's so cool. Like the girl like wants to like be with the guy, but she actually like hurt him in the past and stuff. Like that's mostly what I care about. But also the blood was a nice like a nice little side thing. But like yeah, this friend was asking like, why do people like violence, like people dying in movies, like people dying violently? It's like, I have no idea. I don't like, especially when it's terror movies. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, one would think, like, because you don't like violence and gore and stuff, because you don't like that, you're a good person, I guess, but I don't think it's the case. I think it has more to that. I guess it's a morbid curiosity, like, you know, when you're in a high place, or you're, like, in the train rails, in the subway rails, and you see someone like next to the trains, and it's like you think like, well, not saying everyone does it, but maybe something through your mind passes. It's like, oh, what would happen if I push this person to the train? But you don't do it, of course. It's just a thought. Also, like when you're in a high place and you think, oh, what would happen if I like throw myself off the cliff? Like it's a normal thing. Like most people probably has go through that, but that's a morbid like thought, morbid curiosity. I guess that's how they call it. But it's not something that we would do. We just think about it. Let's see. To be fair, violence is extremely normalized. That is true. Yeah, that is true. That's something I am not very content with. Violence is badass. I guess that's, you can call it that. I think also many humans are rewarded for surviving a violent situation. Yeah, at least for me. Because, again, my story is I was like an edgy bitch. I just like to see blood just because of the hell of it. I liked the Saw movies because of the blood or whatever. Even though it has a plot and everything, but like supposedly, like, so it's mostly like, how you call it, gore porn? Or like blood porn, whatever. And like, but later on, I didn't care about it because I didn't care about the characters. Later on, I realized I like bloody movies when they have like a good plot, good characters, and like characters I care about, which is the case in Squid Game. I love the main character. I wanted to see him like win or like go through like shit, and like I wanted to see what happens to everyone and stuff. Like I was like invested because I was rooting for them. But like, if you guys have heard of Suicide Club, have you guys have heard Suicide Club? If you haven't, don't look it up. It's very bloody. I mean, if you don't mind that, sure, go ahead. But that was one where like it had a mystery and stuff. Like it's a club where like people kill themselves and stuff. But that was it. Like it didn't really have much of a like story behind the characters or anything. It was just like, oh yeah, people kill themselves. That's it. So I saw the movie out of curiosity, exactly, but I wasn't super into it because I felt like it was lacking. So again, same for the Saw movies, like just like people die, I guess that's cool. So that is my take, but I cannot say like, oh, I don't like violence because it's below me or whatever. No, I do like it. Like it catches my attention, but why? Like, well, in real life, most people, there are people that are murderers and all, but most people are not. But like, I assume we all have thoughts about, like, oh, what would happen if, like, I push this person to the trains or whatever. But it's just a curiosity again. But, and seeing it in a movie is kind of satisfies that curiosity. Yeah, when I was an edgy teen, I watched like a lot, like a lot of like very violent movies. I won't name any of them, of course, but you can say that there was an iceberg, like the iceberg of like disturbing movies. I saw every movie, well, almost every movie until like the last of the iceberg, only because the last of the iceberg is just like either independent stuff or like lost media or like stuff that you find only in the dark web, and it's not even a movie, it's just like a real life footage or whatever. Hello, Luna Toons Art. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome. We are talking about dark things. I'm sorry about that, but it's just, again, my curiosity. Without spoilers, I feel as cheated as the main protagonist of Squid Game after the end. Yes, I am still in denial. Like, yeah, no spoilers, but I am. Like, I'm disappointed, but also I'm like, oh, but I love him. But also, like, I am disappointed, but also I can't believe you've done this. But also, I cannot, like, literally, I cannot believe it. Like, I mean, I believe it happened, but it's a very good movie. Yes, I recommend it. I mean, show, if you don't mind the blood, of course. But yeah. One thing I wanted to say is that, yeah, the plot twist. In Squid Game. No spoilers, but I like that they hinted at it enough for you, like, after the plot twist, you're like, oh yeah! Like, so that makes sense, but, like, not to the point that you kind of know from, like, episode 1. You just kind of sus, and then later on you're like, oh shit, it was true. Like, it was very well done. I'm like, I hope one day to make something like nearly as amazing as that. Like, holy shit. So my first impression of Squid Game, the first time I saw anything about it was I saw a TikTok of like one scene, the second game. And like just looking at the, like, there was no deaths yet, but I just knew that this was that kind of show because I just know that kind of Asian horror. Otaku tacos. Even though there's a playground all colorful, people are wearing like uniforms and stuff. There's dudes like with their face covered. I just knew. I'm like, oh, it's that type of show. Like, we're doing this again. We're battling Royale all over again. But no, like, it started, like, of course, people started dying, and I was like, oh, yes, it is. Like, I was right. But, yeah, my thought was like, this is dumb. Like, it's just people dying for the sake of dying. This is dumb. What show is it? Like, I immediately look it up because it was, that's, again, the curiosity. And I was like, well, okay, it's called Squid Game, whatever. But even from that one scene from the second game, not knowing what it was supposed to be, what stuck out to me from other like Asian horror movies is that they focus on certain amount of characters, and it's like, I'm like, oh, I assume these 4 characters are like the main ones, so we're gonna follow their story, which doesn't always happen in those movies. Well, like, you only see a mass of people, they're going to die, you're here to see them die, and that's it. But no, I like following the story of a character, blah blah blah. That's what caught my attention. Is like, oh, there are main characters. That is good. That was my first experience with the Squid Game. And then it was like, I kept seeing more and more things about it. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen memes of this. And then, yeah, I saw it one day, and then I couldn't stop watching, and then I finished it in that same night.